In this video, I'm going to compare the Samsung Galaxy A12 and the Apple iPhone SE 2020 version. And if you like videos like this where I compare smartphone specs, consider subscribing. But let's get into it. So both of these phones aren't 5G phones. They are in fact 4G LTE devices, but that's okay. These come at very reasonable prices, very low prices. If you need a quality smartphone and you are looking for something that's going to handle most day-to-day activities, both of these are going to be great. The Galaxy A12 measures in at around 6.4 inches tall, 3 inches wide, 0.35 inches thick, while the iPhone SE 2020 comes in smaller at 5.4 inches tall, 2.6 inches wide, 0.3 inches thick. As for the weight, the A12 comes in at a hefty 7.2 ounces, while the iPhone SE has a minuscule 5.22 ounces. Build quality is different though. The Galaxy A12 has a glass front, plastic back, plastic frame. iPhone SE has a great flagship quality with the glass front, glass back, aluminum frame. The A12 has a single SIM card variant with also a dual SIM card variant if you get it the international model. But the iPhone SE, no matter how you cut it, has a nano SIM card slot and an eSIM embedded, so that way you could activate without having a physical SIM card, and that also gives you 2 phone numbers and 2 data plans at the same time. iPhone SE has a flagship IP67 dust and water resistance, while the A12 does not. Next, let's talk about displays. The A12 has a nice big 6.5-inch IPS display at 82% screen-to-body ratio. iPhone SE has a smaller 4.7-inch IPS LCD with 65% screen-to-body ratio. So it has a more old-school, lots of bezel look. For the resolution, the Galaxy A12 has a PPI density of 270, which is 720p resolution, so kind of low, but it's okay. The iPhone SE has a higher resolution, coming in with PPI density of 326. For the software, the Galaxy A12 has Android 11 with Samsung One UI on top. iPhone SE 2020 has iOS 14 on top. Both of these will get several updates, but the iPhone SE will definitely get a lot more updates right away. The Galaxy A12 will be a little bit slower to react. For the chipset, the A12 has a MediaTek P35 processor, which is good for day-to-day activities. iPhone SE has the Apple A13 Bionic, which is way more than enough. It's still a powerful chip, even 2 years later since it was introduced. But both of these will definitely handle all your day-to-day activities, with most popular apps on both platforms running extremely smooth. YouTube, movies, music, maps, messaging, social media, light gaming such as Dead Trigger and Grand Theft Auto, my personal favorites. As for storage, the A12 has a 32 gigabyte variant with 3 gigs of RAM, which you're going to find most in most places, while the iPhone SE 2020 starts off at 64 gigs of RAM. Both of these are not a lot of amount of storage by any means, but the A12 does have a micro SD card slot. And the 3 gigs of RAM is really good for both of these devices and most day-to-day activities, so that's not a problem on that front. Now for the cameras, the A12 has 4 cameras on the back: 48 megapixel main camera, 5 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth. iPhone SE has a single 12 megapixel shooter. The A12 has a 1080p video resolution, while the iPhone SE has 4K video. So overall, better camera quality is going to be the iPhone SE, especially at low light. It's a flagship level quality camera, while the Galaxy A12 will be very impressive, but only when you have the right lighting or if you're outside. Low light conditions will totally mess it up. Selfie cameras are more on par with each other. The A12 has an 8 megapixel shooter, while the iPhone SE has a 7 megapixel shooter, and both shoot at 1080p video. You have a headphone jack on the A12, while the iPhone SE does not, so that's going to be good for a lot of people. And Bluetooth, you have 5.0 on both of these devices, so they'll both be able to connect happily with all your wireless devices, your wearables, your smartwatches, your wireless headphones, and all that. For unlocking and security, they both have fingerprint readers, but the A12 has a side-mounted one, while the iPhone SE has the home button on the front where the fingerprint reader is located. Last but not least is the battery, and the Galaxy A12 wins big time. It has a 5,000 milliamp battery with fast charging at 15 watts, while the iPhone SE has a very small, less than 2,000 milliamp battery. Hands down, the Galaxy A12 has a more than enough battery life for up to 3 days, while the iPhone SE, you'll be lucky if you get most of 1 day. Although it gets fast charging at 18 watts, which will give you 50% charge in 30 minutes, and it also has wireless charging. Last thing is going to be the price, very important, and both of these devices are on the lower end of the spectrum. You can get the Galaxy A12 unlocked for less than 180 bucks, but you're going to find it free in most prepaid markets. Same thing with the iPhone SE. You could also get it for free on either free or $50 on prepaid markets, but the unlocked price is around $400. Hands down, I gotta say that the Galaxy A12 is going to be your best bet. I just love the impressive battery life. I like the big screen. I like the array of cameras. Storage is not too much of an issue if you have a micro SD card on hand. The iPhone SE battery life is really disgusting. That's what kills this phone. Also, the small screen is not going to be for most people. Big screen phones are, large and in charge. And in this case, the iPhone SE does feel older and feels kind of clumsy with those bezels on the top and the bottom. But if you're looking for a flagship level operating system with the newest updates, the iPhone SE got your back. But if you don't really care about that and you just want all your popular apps to run and not take any serious video, then the Galaxy A12 will certainly please a lot of people. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you consider subscribing to my channel if you like comparisons of smartphones. Thanks for watching. Peace.